So, greeting to all, and I appreciate your presence today. And good evening, everyone. So, let's just kickstart our session with this great quotation. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human being can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. So, a very good evening to all the guests. And I, Nandini, the host, would like to take this opportunity to extend a hearty greeting to each and every one of you present here. And it gives me a great pleasure to extend a warm hello to each and everyone gathered here today. And it's a huge honor for us to have someone of this caliber here whose involvement on the topic of staying empowered through the journey of life, the art of embracing yourself. And that adds so much value to it. Now there's a few lines regarding topic of the event I would like to share. So embracing yourself is essential for personal growth and development. It allows you to understand your strength, weakness, values, and beliefs, leading to a more fulfilling life. Empowered individuals can make a positive impact on their communities and the world around them. So, today we are gathered here to unlock its secret and get ready to discover the techniques and mindset to embrace yourself and live a life of purpose and fulfillment. And before I proceed further, so let me take a brief moment of the introduction of our organization. And SEMS Welfare Foundation is a registered non-profit organization. Is dedicated to social impact across various sectors, and we focus on education, particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. Through initiative DG Saksham, we have created trainings program in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship impacting over 6,000 individuals. So, FEMLEADS, another SEMS initiative, empowers women through workshops and stories of successful female entrepreneurs. So, in just a short time, SEMS have established itself a force for a positive change, equipping individuals with skills of employment and promoting women's leadership in various industries. Now, let me take this wonderful occasion to publicly present and welcome Ma'am Dr. Safrin, the speaker for the today's international webinar here. And now, few lines regarding the speaker. So, Ma'am Dr. Safrin is currently working as an assistant professor, Department of English. She has completed her PhD in English from Stella Maris College, Chennai. She specialized in writing and publishing academic and non-academic content. Her area of interest includes psychology, journalism, autobiography, Bhakti literature, Indian literature, and women's writing. She also works as a freelancer soft skill trainer, rendering training to the City College students associated with English language laboratories. She also renders corporate training for IT companies, focusing on English language training, content writing, and content development is another area of her specialization. So her core area of interest lies in academic writing, creative writing, and spiritual writing. She is also an editorial board member of several literary journals such as Literary Voice and World Journal of English Literature. She also presented several of her research papers in national and international seminars and conferences. She has published several short stories, articles, and poems. So, with this note, I, Nandini, on behalf of the Sames Welfare Foundation, would like to give my warm welcome to you, ma'am, again. And your presence has added to the significance of this event.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you, Nandini, for the warm introduction. And it's always nice to connect with people, especially on topics such as self love, which I feel is the need of the hour. And just give me a minute, I'll quickly share my screen. So, on that note, let me welcome you all into the session. So, as you know, the topic that we are going to discuss today is self love, and this is the title that I've crafted for this session: Staying Empowered Through the Journey of Life, the Art of Embracing Yourself. I thought this topic is very relevant, especially as we are approaching World Mental Health Day, which is falling on October 10th. So all the more I thought, self love is something which we know it's important. We know it's very significant for us to stay connected with ourselves. But at times where we are living right now, I would say, in a hurried phase or in a hurried place, we tend to forget the significance of this connection, or probably we are too occupied with many things that we tend to overlook the need to connect with ourselves very often. And as we approach this mental health day, I thought self love is something, it's like a cornerstone for us to build our mental health. And it's definitely an important component of our emotional well-being. So having said this, let me walk you through the simple steps that we can actually follow on a routine basis to cultivate self love. So, what is self love? So, let me start with that. Of course, we know self love is nothing but loving your own self, getting connected with your own self, understanding your own self. How did this entire idea of talking about self love come to me? I thought I should share this experience with you all. So, as an assistant professor of English, I usually start my sessions with my new batch of students. The first activity I give, or as per the syllabus, it would be, how would you introduce yourself? Self introduction will be the first unit that we really deal with. So, when I was trying to engage the students in this activity, I was giving them an outline as to how you will go about introducing yourself. I gave them few points to work on, and the few points were: talk about your likes, dislikes, talk about your positive quality which you identify as a strength, and talk about any challenges that you're facing. So these were the points I wanted them to address when they were really trying to introduce their self, apart, as a part of introducing their self. Unfortunately, many of them were struggling. They were thinking so hard to talk about their self, to even, most of them who wanted to really share about their self were getting stuck up. And when I asked the students, why is it taking so long, did I ask you a hard question? I was asking about your own self. Don't you know what you like, what you don't like? Don't you identify the positive strength or quality in you? When I asked this, most of them were like, maybe that was the first time they were even thinking about their own self per se, and they were telling how difficult it was for them to identify anything positive in their self. Then I helped them out. I told them, probably your friends, your relatives, or your loved ones, your family members would have told you, would have appreciated you. Think about this. So I understood how students were struggling, and most of the time with people whom I talk, my peer group, my colleagues, and all, when I talk, so I get to understand how difficult it is for us to, introduce or feel about ourselves. What do we really feel about ourselves when it's asked, when the question is put forth? We really struggle a lot. And that's when I understood somewhere we are lacking connection with our own self. If you are highly self aware, if you're strongly connected to yourself, if this question was asked, you'll be fast in answering, or probably be confident in answering. So all this struggling and stammering was happening because of the loose connection, I would say, or the weak connection one has with one's own self. And I thought I should take this topic seriously, and also the whole significance of mental health and emotional well-being being my area of interest when it comes to psychology. I thought self love is something I would really go with. It's not that people don't know that self love is important or self love is essential. It's that we forget, we don't have time, and we have many other things that take our attention away from our own self. And today's session aims to bring back all our attention to ourselves and helps us to understand one significant truth, or the bottom line: everything begins with ourselves and ends with ourselves. Having said this, let me show these 3 points to you. Self love is nothing but accepting yourself as you are, appreciating yourself for who you are, and providing support to your own self. The self acceptance is the very first basic step of any self love that you want to show. Before you love yourself, what you want to do is accept yourself for who you are. This is me. I have my own flaws. I have my own shortcomings. I have my strength, I have my weakness. I am a package of perfections and imperfection. It all depends on the way I accept myself. First of all, I need to accept there are certain things I would want to change. There are certain things I struggle to change. It's okay, it's fine. We are all in a journey and everything takes time. So, accepting who you are and accepting the changes that you're going through and waiting patiently for what you really want yourself to become is a first basic step of self love. And what is appreciating? How often do we appreciate our own selves? I think very less. Sometimes we feel it's too much to appreciate ourselves. If you do something, if you feel that you've accomplished something, it can be even a very small thing. For example, people like me, or in my academic field, if I publish a paper, I feel really happy. It might be just a paper publication, but then these are little things that I would love to celebrate. So I appreciate my own self, and this appreciation helps me to go ahead further in achieving greater goals. Appreciation is not just, waiting for achieving something great. Of course, we all want to achieve something great. We are all in a journey to accomplish our goals. That's perfectly fine. But how far do you appreciate yourself for the little wins of your life, for the little victories of your life? That is something that we have to pause today and reflect and check. And today's session, I think it'll be more of self analysis. And the points that I'm sharing with you, it's like will urge you or gently nudge you to think how far you are staying connected with yourself and how far you're reflecting on who you are and what you are becoming during the course of your life. What is providing support? Are you supporting your own self? Or are you being highly critical of yourself? There are times when this is again all my experiences stems from students because having been in this field of teaching, I used to take tuitions even before I started my job as an assistant professor for almost 10 plus years. So most of my time, my profession is being with students. I spend a lot of time with students, both school students and college students I've spent and I'm spending. So what I observe is when I ask them to come and share their thoughts, when I ask them to come and talk in front of the class, of course, there's a lot of public fear, stage fear and all. But then there is, they feel very critical of themselves. What will happen if I do something, if I say something wrong? Will everyone laugh at me? Will everyone make fun of me? So there's always this failure to support your own self, failing to stand up for your own self. That's the first thing that acts as a level of confidence. Again, this connects with self confidence. The whole idea of self love, if you see, it connects with self confidence, it connects with self motivation. Everything is interconnected because basically everything is built out of our own self. So, how far do you support your own self? Are you someone who constantly keeps putting yourself down? Because you have certain flaws, and mind you, everyone has certain flaws, certain drawbacks, certain weaknesses. Not everyone is 100% perfect. We are all human beings. We go wrong. We tend to make mistakes. We tend to learn from mistakes. It's again a journey, a course of time. So as we travel through this path, we must know that we are growing, we are changing, and it is important for us to accept the change, appreciate the change. Sometimes we change very fast. Sometimes it takes months and years, but still the change happens when we allow it to happen, allow it to happen at its own pace, and providing support and trying to be kind on ourselves and waiting for ourselves to go through that period of change is one way of saying that you really love yourself. Loving is showing support, not being critical. What is the need to practice self love? First of all, self love is very essential for life. When I say life, I'm going to compare it with a journey. Maybe when you think of a journey, what comes to your mind? You get prepared, you travel, you know when the journey starts, you know when the journey ends, right? So accordingly, you prepare, you go. Of course, in every traveling experience, we face a lot of uncertainty. Sometimes it turns out to be really good. Sometimes there are certain things that don't turn out to be good. The memories, we make memories during traveling, but we know when the travel will end, right? We know when we are going to come back home, when we are going to again, like the journey will stop. When I say life is a journey, the journey has started the day you're born in this world, the day you are here, your birthday, and then it keeps going. We really don't know when the journey ends, but then we know it's a long journey, right? We hope it's a really long journey. But at the same time, what makes this journey memorable, what makes this journey successful is how you establish a close relationship, a supporting, understanding, comfortable relationship with yourself. Why do I say self? Because you might be in a family setup, you might be surrounded by people, loved ones, friends, relatives, but ultimately remember that you are the person. You, the self, is what is going to come with you throughout your life, because there are at moments you'll be left alone. For example, your parents might not come with you throughout your life, neither your partner, your children. Of course, all this is in a family setup, we have our loved ones, but remember, people can't travel with us throughout our life. The only one person who's going to be with you throughout your journey is you, yourself. So, how important it is for you to love yourself, to love that person who's going to be with you through your thick and thin, the person who's staying with you, and the person none other than you. Here, I would like to even imagine yourself waiting for that person. Imagine you see yourself walking towards you. How will you feel? You would have seen yourself in mirror. You know how you look. You know your features. But if you see someone like you, I won't say like you, literally you walking towards you, how would you feel? Would you not? How do you feel? Would you just go and hug that person because that's you? Might sound a bit cinematic, but I'm just encouraging you to visualize, because that would really bring in the feeling as to what you really feel towards yourself. Currently, how you feel towards yourself. What is your feeling towards your own self? You reflect on that, you will know how much of self love is actually coming out of you. And as I've always started my speech by saying self love is very important. It's a vital component for improving mental health and emotional well-being. A person who loves his or her own self, understands his or her own self, and is completely aware of his or her own self is someone who will have high levels of emotional quotient, and there'll be a lot of emotional wellness in that person, and that can be very well seen, and you can really feel the difference, because many times you see self love is misunderstood or used synonymously for self centeredness or selfishness, which is actually not. Because when we are in a society where we do certain things for ourselves, we might be labeled as a person who's a narcissistic or who's too much focused into his or her own self. But we need to know when to put ourselves first, because as I keep repeating this phrase, everything begins with ourself and ends with ourself. And your relationship with yourself is important for staying empowered, for staying successful in this journey. And more than the journey, more than the destination that we are planning, more than the goals you want to achieve, it's the experience that you acquire throughout this journey of life. And in all the experiences, remember, it matters on how you're going to treat yourself. And I strongly believe that a person who loves his self, herself truly, the person who has a good relationship with his or her own self, will be a better person, and will definitely be a person who would definitely spread that positive vibe, and will also love other people in his or her life in a better manner, which I'll be talking about in the later part of this session. How do you actually practice self love? Very simple steps, but it's little difficult when you're actually going to start using certain steps. But these are simple routine habits that you can cultivate in your life. You can try doing it in your everyday life, and I believe that little step or little changes that you make result in greater impacts. So over a period of time, consistently, when you start following certain routine steps to improve your self love, you will see greater changes happening, probably within a year, or probably for some people it might reflect within few months. But when you consistently keep following and using these techniques, I believe that you will be witnessing huge change in your life. People around you will witness the change, and you will get to know your life better. You will make a better sense of who you are, and you will derive deeper meanings from the life that you are living. So one of the first steps that you can actually start following when you are trying to improve your self love is to forgive yourself. I have seen people, and sometimes including me, I have had this experience where I have treated my own self harshly if I don't accomplish a particular goal, or if I failed at a particular task. And this happens especially when we are struggling for perfection, when we have certain goals to be achieved within a time frame, but we try our best, but of course life is full of uncertainty. Some things happen, able to give your best, we try to be tough on ourselves. It's very difficult to forgive ourselves more than the other person. When other people try to be critical of ourselves, when the other person tries to find fault, or more than the other person hurting, we try to hurt our own selves very often. We try to be very hard with our own selves. It takes days and months to forgive, for committing something, a mistake which really happens, which might have happened without your knowledge. Or sometimes you are in a learning process. It's okay to commit that mistake, learn from the experience, and correct yourself. But sometimes it's really difficult. We try to be hard on ourselves for a long time. But this should not happen. Maybe you are trying to really figure out how you can improve yourself, but you should be kind. You should take yourself, you should take care of yourself, prioritize yourself, and ensure that you forgive yourself and move ahead and don't dwell in the past. You might have made a mistake. Remember, we are all humans. We tend to make mistakes. Maybe we tend to fail. Very often, failures should be treated as experiences, so that when you keep moving ahead, you learn, you go ahead with a lot of experience. And understand, when you try to forgive yourself for the mistakes you've done, or for the things that has happened in your past, or for the things that were not in your control, it will take some time. Always try to give your own self some time and space, especially when you have been through a traumatic experience, when you've been through a failure, when you've been through a very worst situation. It takes time for you to come out. But remember, you will come out, you have that resilience, you will bounce back. But you should have kindness towards your own self. You should, approach yourself with compassion, and because that is more important. If you're going to keep hating yourself, hurting yourself, keep criticizing yourself for the mistakes that you've done, for the past happenings, this is not going to be nice, right? because you have to travel with yourself. You don't have a choice. You can't remove yourself from your life and say, I'm going to go ahead. This is you. This is the person you're carrying, the soul that you're carrying. And remember, you need to nurture it with a lot of love and care. Anything that is loved properly will grow, anything that is nurtured properly will flourish, which includes you as well. So learn from mistakes and treat them as opportunities to grow. Give yourself time. There'll be times you won't be able to accomplish everything. Of course, you might have planned something, but something would have been, some negative things might happen, or things wouldn't turn the way you would expect it to be. But don't worry. Always appreciate yourself. I'm going back to what I started with. Whatever effort you've taken, it didn't go waste. I mean, you shouldn't say everything was a waste of time. I took so much effort, but it turned out to be a failure. You don't see the end result. End result might have turned in a negative way or might have failed, but the experiences you've gathered during the process will never go away. And remember, life is full of experiences, it's full of memories. So even failure will give you a set of experiences which will make you a better person. You won't be the same person when you try it again, right? You have learned something. So take that note. On that note, try to appreciate yourself for all the efforts that you've put in and try to keep growing as a person. The next thing that you can do to practice self love is be mindful. You are encouraged to stay in the present. Very often we keep dwelling in the past. We tend to think a lot about the future, worry about the future, although we know things are going to be uncertain. We won't know what is going to happen in the next minute. Life is so much so uncertain. Why would you worry about everything which is going to happen tomorrow or after some time? You plan, that is always there. You have your goals, that's fine. But don't worry too much into the future. Learn from the past experiences, but don't keep dwelling on, the past trauma or something that's pulling you down. Be present at the moment, which is very important. Keep a check on the goals that you've set for yourself. Remember, these goals are very important for you. You are setting the goals for your growth, for yourself. It shouldn't be from someone who's trying to force you to, accomplish the goals. So check whether the goals are aligning to the values of yourself, what yourself really wants to achieve, or are you just having those goals for the sake of someone who's forcing you to do that? Maybe it's from the family or it's from the society. Then it will be a lot of pressure on you, because I believe if anything is done without passion or interest, it's only going to result in a huge amount of stress, anxiety, and in turn it will impact your emotional well-being. So if you do anything, even if it's your job or even if it's your studies, whatever it is, if you're going to do it with a lot of pressure, with a lot of force, and not without interest, or you lack passion and do, that's definitely going to have a negative impact on your mental health. You should do what you like to do. You should always do it with a lot of passion. You do it for your own self satisfaction and happiness. And when you do that, you will definitely see the difference. Even if it's hard, you will still try, you will do it. Even if no one forces you, you will be driven by your self motivation. So ensure the connection that you have with your goal and with yourself. Is yourself feeling happy to accomplish the goals? Are you really feeling motivated to achieve them? Check and reflect. Mindfulness also helps you to understand what you really need at the present moment and hence strengthen the connection with yourself. Always remember who are you, what you want, how you think. You should be aware of all this. This is nothing but self awareness and being knowing about yourself. This self knowledge is nothing but it's a great empowerment for us, because a person who's able to understand his or herself becomes empowered, because you know your strength, you know your weakness, you know how to use your leverage your strength for accomplishing your goals. You know how to work on your weakness slash challenges to accomplish your goals. So highly self-aware people turn out to be really successful because the connection they have with yourself is very strong. So keep reflecting on these points and always try to stay at the moment, be present at the moment, stay connected to the present. And when you are setting goals, you definitely have to have goals. Goals are very important for growth and self growth. You should focus on your growth, right? Because you don't want, none of us would want to stay at the same level, right? We would always want to grow and go ahead. But again, it happens, we don't compare our growth or goals with any other person. Probably we will be motivated by seeing other people's life, that is different, but we are not in a hurry, we don't compare, we operate in our own time frame. Life is different for each people. We are into different circumstances, we are into different spheres and realms. But having said this, you give your life that space and time to go ahead. And when you have goals, make sure it aligns with your self value, your self growth, and your passion and interest. And always remember, it's important to set smart goals. So, what do I mean by smart? Your goals have to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. For example, even you can set a goal that you can achieve like for 3 months. For in a year, you can have for 3 months, within 3 months. I used to have a goal like I have to publish a paper within 6 months. So I'll work on my research paper, ensure that I put my heart and soul and try working on it. And I will just try to pitch in my research paper and see where I can get it published. So this is a short term goal that I have. Maybe long term goal can be a book. See, since I'm from an academic field, I'm giving this example. Whoever is attending this session, you might be from different fields, of your area of interest. Whatever goals you have, ensure that it falls into the smart category. You need not pressurize yourself to achieve this goal. Make sure you have a plan, you have timeline to achieve it. And every time you have this timeline, you cannot follow it strictly. Yeah, can I continue? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, I just heard some. Okay. So make sure your goals are falling into this category, and remember, goals are connected with your self growth, right? And any person who loves his or her own self would want to see them grow. If you love a person, imagine you would be very happy for their growth, right? So same way, you should be looking forward to your own growth, and growth happens by setting proper goals. And this is the example of smart goals that I'm giving here. And always make an effort to stay connected with yourself. Many times often we don't have this, we don't take an effort, right? We take ourselves for granted. We don't really take moment, we don't really take some time out for our own self, to understand, to connect with our own self. It's taken very lightly, or it's like, yeah, it's me, that's it. And we are so focused in getting connected with others. Probably when we are in a platform, social media platform, we want to get connected with our friends, or professionally we want to get connected with many people. So we are always in the lookout for connections. But what about first getting connected to your own self, checking your self connection, and then seeking out connection from others? Because there is this quote that I came across: if you don't love your own company, then who else will love you? In the sense, you're not able to make peace with your own self, you don't take happiness in staying with your own company, then how would you expect people to be with you? See, people will be with us at one time, the other time they might not be with us, including our loved ones. Situations will change. And the one person who's going to be with you is your own self, and how much effort you must take to stay connected with yourself. I am drawing your attention to the value of yourself, and it holds high value. It will definitely require the time and effort that you need to take to stay connected. Be an active listener of yourself. Always listen to your body and mind. It communicates to you. If you're not well, you will feel it, right? Your body will talk to you. You will feel a discomfort. You will feel that uneasiness. If you're feeling sad, that can also be communicated, right? You will feel low. If you're happy, everyone can feel that, right? The way you are, you express. So first listen to your body, acknowledge the feelings and emotion that it's going through. That's very important. If you're not going to listen to yourself, how do you expect others to listen to you? How do you expect others to understand? And every day, this is one thing that I keep talking when I go for my public speeches. Don't hit the bed, don't go to your bed without reflecting about the day, you and that day. For example, if it's going to be today, before you go to bed at whatever time, just take a couple of minutes and just think, have a recall and recap of whatever happened throughout the day. Who are the people you met? Did something special happen today? Did you go through something? Did probably you were into you were doing many work, and is there anything interesting that happened? How did you feel today? Just check on the feelings and emotions. That's a constant check that you have to do, and reflect on things that happen. Probably it might be a very special day for you, or it might be would have been a bad day. So just think about this and reflect on this. And if there's anything that you have to make a note of, you can maintain a journal, which is a very important thing when it comes to self connection. Because when you write, it's like you're communicating to your own self. Most of the time, I think it's like diary writing and all. It might look very ancient or traditional way, but it has a very personal touch. Like you take a pen or a pencil, you write, you stay connected with the words that you are writing. It comes out from you. You are staying true to yourself and you're writing those words. So very important way of staying mindful, of staying connected with your own self, one of the ways is journaling, writing a journal, maintaining your diary. So every day, make sure you take a couple of minutes to connect with yourself, reflect on the day, and then go to bed. This self reflection helps you to create self awareness, and this will help us to acknowledge the various emotions that we are experiencing throughout the day. And also, this will give you some time and space to understand what you're actually going through. Sometimes, when I ask people, how do you feel? The answer would be, I don't know. I'll be quite surprised or shocking. Like, what is this? You don't know how you're feeling, whether it's good, okay. Are you not able to even tell a specific degree to which you are feeling happy or okay? Sometimes it's like a very bland reply. It's saying like, I don't know. So that is the level of attention that person is actually giving to the self. You must be able to say how you are feeling, right? How the day is for you. So make sure you pause here and there, then and there, and reflect how you are going, what kind of emotions that you're really going. Sometimes you don't pay attention to the feelings you're going through at all. This sometimes it might lead to a lot of stress and anxiety. Probably you were sad for a long time, you didn't even realize that certain things were worrying you a lot, certain incidents were troubling you, you didn't make peace with certain people or certain events that has happened. You keep going in a fast pace, and this would definitely add on and it will hit you back, and you will find it very difficult at that time. See, why suicides happen, why people want to end their life, because of lack of self love. When you stop loving yourself, you stop loving the life that you're leading, and you feel it's better to end the life. Any person who would love his or herself, who would love his life, who would love her life, value her life, wouldn't have suicidal thoughts, right? Wouldn't think of ending life. Life is very crazy, that I know. It's not filled with uncertainties, but it's definitely beautiful for the people who enjoy the little moments, who are thankful to the little things in life, and who look forward to life with a lot of hope. So we come across a lot of success stories, we come across a lot of hope stories. Why don't we pay attention to those instead of just being pulled down by the negative things that's happening around us? We have the strength and resilience to overcome all the negative aspects, to go over all this and still find a ray of hope. And that's what I think our calling is in, and that's what the beauty of life lies in. And practice the art or act of soliloquy. Soliloquy is something people from literature background will understand. When a particular character in a play or in a story starts to talking to his or her own self, we call it as soliloquy. So, for example, if a drama is happening in those days, if you see in ancient dramas and all, soliloquy is very common. The character will go, apart from that stage to a corner and will start talking. That talk is for her or own self. So engage in self talk. You can get into positive affirmations where you talk to your own self. We are almost every time we keep hearing other people talking, right? And we listen to the other voices. How about listening to your own voice, talking to your own self? This might sound like very simple, or sometimes you might find it little childish. It's fine. You need to flaunt your inner child. You need to pamper your inner child. Remember, everyone has a child inside. We do have childlike craving. We some people really love. For example, there are people who become very happy when they have want to taste an ice cream. They really love it. See, for the child inside us, there is no age, and we need to feed the child inside us, the little desires we have. We need to pay respect, we need to give value to that. So find a me time. Maybe it's your before your bedtime, so that you can reflect on the whole day, or any other time you're comfortable where you can dedicate to yourself alone. Probably in the 24 hours you are having, at least you can spend 45 minutes to 1 hour for your own self, to improve yourself, to listen to yourself, to connect to yourself, and to think about yourself, how you are going, what you're experiencing, just for you and yourself alone. Share with yourself how you feel about the day, person, or events. You might have met a person. For example, now you're attending this particular event, this webinar. So maybe you can even reflect on this when you go to bed today and think, what are the points that's being told? Is that like, you can take it as a self reflection. So like this, you might be attending probably webinars or workshops or whatever you're doing, or you might be meet new people, right? So you want to think about the conversations that you had. It's okay to wait, pause, and reflect on these things. And it's always great to hear from you. I mean, hear your own voice talking to you. So practice this art of soliloquy. Affirm yourself with a lot of positive self talk, and be honest with yourself. See, if you're feeling sad, accept that. You need not go and tell everyone that you're sad, but talk to your own self, saying that, yes, I am sad. This is what has happened to me. Because it's to your own self you have to be true. Okay. Even if you're not trying trying to be true, or we might be in a different level of communication with so many people. But the one person whom you want to stay completely true and honest will be yourself. So connect with yourself in a very blatant, honest manner, because you yourself are working together for a better life. In that sense, you should communicate, you should connect in a deeper level with yourself, and stop criticizing yourself, accept yourself, and keep going ahead, seeking for improvements, looking for different areas of constant growth. So positive self-talk and affirmation is something that you might have all heard, right? So seek encouragement from your own self. You don't wait for others to come and encourage you. Of course, you can take encouragement from a lot of sources. For example, from my own experience, I watch a lot of movies to motivate me. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of autobiographies, which is my area of interest. As you might be knowing in the introduction, Nandini would have told you. So I work a lot on life writing, because life is something that is always keeping me passionate. I am interested about life. It's something, I find it mysterious. I find it beautiful, and sometimes it's difficult to comprehend what really happens in life. Sometimes certain moments are very magical. So for me, I take a lot of motivation from lives of other people who have succeeded, and definitely from books and from movies. And most importantly, you need to take encouragement from your own self. You need to affirm your own self that you can do this particular task, and indulge in positive self talk. You won't believe, it has a lot of impact. Constantly you keep hearing positive affirmations from your own side, it will boost your confidence level, boost your energy, and you will go ahead in your life with a renewed sense of energy to accomplish new things, to accomplish your goals. So keep having, like, you can have 5 to 10 statements that you can really say every day morning before you start the day. Remember, there is going to be stress, anxiety, there are going to be challenges. Okay, just because we are saying these positive self talk or affirmations, you're not going to be free out of this. Of course, you're going to face the world. It might overwhelm you in many ways, but how much ever it's trying to put you down, how much ever challenges are trying to drain your energy, the one thing that will help you to stay positive, the one thing that will help you to stay energized, is the strength you take from your own self. And that will come only when you love your own self and trust yourself. Remember, when you are in love with a person, maybe it might be your family member, or it may be your siblings, your parents, or your significant other, or a romantic relationship. Imagine, if you're going to love a person, you have a lot of trust for that person, right? You build a lot of trust, you wait for that person, you want to see the person grow. I'm saying the same thing for your own self. You love yourself, you say, you're no one can say I hate myself. You are in this body, you carry that soul, you're going to love it for the rest of your life. Of course, there are certain parts you don't really, or certain phases of your life, or certain elements that you really don't like about yourself. Everyone has this. Probably you're planning to change, or sometimes you are, like, you like that, that is what is going to make you unique. Maybe you can say it's an imperfection, but imperfections are something that would really make you unique. It's fine. We want to work on certain things and change and grow. That is also perfectly okay. So you try to see the way you connect with yourself. And once you connect better with yourself, I believe you can build a lot of trust with your own self. And this trust will help in building motivation and encouragement. So you won't wait for others to encourage you. You encourage yourself, and you will go ahead in the journey of life. And building resilience to stress and anxiety is very important. See, stress and anxiety is something that everyone is going to experience. No one can escape from it. So understand what this stress and anxiety, if you carry it for a long time, it has a severe impact on your mental health, and this will also cause you to, reduce your confidence, and it will impact your self love. You won't be able to love yourself properly if you're going to carry stress and anxiety. You should know how to cope with them, how to handle them, and build a resilience. In the sense, it's going to be there, but you're going to be strong enough to overcome that, or you will find out ways and techniques to handle that. So check what are the factors that really create a negative impact on yourself, what makes you hate yourself, what makes you love yourself. So get that idea clear. That's very important. And keep building resilience. There's a stress and anxiety that you're facing in your job, or in your career, in your studies, or whatever level you are in. It's normal. Understand that, and it is possible to handle any stress and anxiety. You can always work out a plan. You need to adopt certain coping mechanisms, understand the triggering factors, and maybe you work out a proper timetable, adopt some skills like time management or delegating work. and understand that you can't control everything, and don't lose your mental peace in controlling everyone or everything which is out of your control. What is in your hand, what is given to you, you make the best use of it. So you are protecting yourself from the stress and anxiety impacting yourself in a negative way. And come up with ways to deal with self doubt. Self doubt is something everyone faces, right? So when I will be always coming back to my own experiences, because more than books or more than anything else, I have learned from my own experiences. I have also learned from the experiences of other people in my life, so that has taught me a lot. So even I had a self doubt when I started my PhD, whether I'll complete it successfully. Of course, I had my own shortcomings, I had my own weakness, my area of struggle was there. But then the self doubt is normal, but I didn't give in to the self doubt. I was always identifying the challenges or the areas which I think I'm lacking or I think I have a weakness in, and I always try to work on it. I obviously give some time. Sometimes I just give quite some time, because certain habits take some time, the results will take some time to show up. So it's normal to doubt oneself, but then the self doubt shouldn't pull you and shouldn't make you get stuck in a particular place. You should be able to identify ways to overcome that. Shouldn't be staying in one place, you should keep moving ahead, because keeping moving ahead and going ahead is a sign of progress and growth, right? Self doubt will stop you from doing that. It will completely take away your confidence, which shouldn't be happening. So even if self doubt comes, learn how to handle it. Don't give it, give your entire space to that. You see, self doubt comes because you lack something. You feel that you are not good to do something. And that comes out because you have certain challenges and certain areas which you identify as a weakness. So identify that, build on that, and increase your strength. You will be able to overcome it. So make self love a habit. Sometimes it's like, only probably if I'm talking to you about self love today, and it shouldn't just stay in your mind for just today and go off tomorrow, right? It should be something that you're going to follow. It should be a part of your life. It should be like your routine habit. So make sure you cultivate that habit every day. So maintain a journal, as I already told you. You can write about your feelings and thoughts, your goals, your desires. It's good to write about few lines about every day, because every day shouldn't go the same way. It should have, something for you to learn, something for you. Make every day interesting. Probably one thing that I would like to share is, like, if you have a routine lifestyle, for example, maybe it's like a 9 to 5 p.m. job that you are in. It's the same thing you do again and again. This routine lifestyle itself will bring in a lot of boredom or bring in a lot of stress and anxiety, because you don't do anything different. See, you need to surprise your own self. You need to learn something new, keep yourself passionate, give some time for your hobbies. So these are the things which will actually make your life more colorful and meaningful, right? Otherwise, the routine lifestyle is going to be completely boring. And that will be like as though there's no change, you're static, you don't move ahead at all. You see yourself doing the same thing for the next 10 years. So what is it? Yourself is not growing. You can always try and learn something new, given some time for creativity. We will have some hobbies or something that you are really good at other than your job or other than your career, or connecting or doing something which you really like to do. It might be a simple learning of a language, or learning a musical instrument, having an habit to read a book, or cooking, or something that will give you happiness. This is something that you have to follow, so that you will break down, you will come out of this monotony and try to satisfy your soul. It should be something which is satisfying, soul satisfying. And carefully recording everyday descriptions, like how was the day for you. You are understanding the relationship the day and you and the day had, right? Because every day in our life has to offer something to us. So try to see how you connect yourself with that day. And that's what I meant by self reflection. If anything special has happened to you that particular day, maybe if it's your birthday or a wedding anniversary or any special day, make sure you celebrate that special occasion, not with other people's alone, but also with your own self. So maybe when you think about that special day, you should go to your bed with a smile on your face. So that shows a personal satisfaction. Not everyone would be knowing what's happening in you except for your own self, right? So yourself has to have, you should bring that smile on your face when you go to bed. You should feel happy. Yes, the day I lived for myself was happy in this day. Make a habit to reflect on little moments that might have had a significant impact on your thoughts and feelings. So I would say, for example, you learned something from a person, probably some act of a person really touched you. You wouldn't have told that person, but you actually kept it in your heart. So think about those little moments that makes a greater impact. Reflect on the little moments and think about them, make a note of them. You can always visit these memories back, because I used to maintain journals, I used to maintain a diary. Of late I've not been doing because I'm into kind of an hectic schedule, but I think I have to get back to it. What I do is it's something which I do personally. For example, when I write a diary today is October 7th 2024, I have like diaries that I used to write for 4 5 years. I've been writing. I used to go back to the diary of October 7th 2023. So I will, flip the page and I will see what happened last year, this month, this day. Might sound a bit childish, but I'll be like, okay, last year this is what I had written, or this is what happened in the same month, same day. Maybe somewhere it takes me to those memories, and probably I'm happy with the growth that I've made. And I see how I've traveled so far, because as I tell you, it's a journey, we keep traveling, right? So this is something that I do. It helps me to be very thankful. I'll be grateful. Okay, last year I didn't get this opportunity, but this year I have this opportunity. I'm thankful for that. Somewhere it helps me to practice gratitude. So pay attention to how you feel every moment. Make sure every day you take a stock of your feelings. That is very important. Learn to embrace your imperfection. Remember, we are a bundle of imperfections. Yes, so we have certain imperfections. Of course, there are certain things we want to work and make ourselves better, which is nothing wrong. But apart from that, you don't be hard on yourself saying that these are my imperfections. Don't take it to a negative level as such. Try to embrace yourself for what you are. Of course, the growing part, the progress is always there, but try to accept what can't be changed. Keep a check on what makes you feel unique. So when I ask my student what is one positive quality that you would identify in yourself which you can consider as a strength, they were all struggling, because till that moment they didn't feel that there's something positive in them. Then I told them, think about what your friends would have appreciated you, or they didn't even think about how people appreciate them. How many of us really know what we get complimented the most for? What quality do people admire in us? Do we know, or do have we paid attention to all those things? Because that has to do so much with our own self. So these are the things that you have to have in mind when we are cultivating self love as a habit. Self love is definitely connected with self awareness. The more you're aware of yourself, it means you love yourself more. And you should know what are your likes and dislikes. You should know the qualities that in you as a strength, and what are the challenges that you are working. And you must be working on some challenge, because that is a sign of growth, right? If you're not working on your challenge, if you're not doing anything, what are you? You're not growing at all. If you love yourself, you want to nurture, you want to see yourself growing, because love, where there is love, there is growth, there is life. So if I say I love myself but I don't grow in any way, then I'm not loving myself truly. So that is one thing that you have to be aware of. Be aware of all your needs, whether it's physical, emotional, social, or spiritual. A person who's aware of his needs will know what he or she exactly wants. Understand what makes you feel happy. Identify the things that make you feel better, what makes you feel worse. So this will give you an awareness as to what you are and how you can actually go about improving your lifestyle and loving yourself more. And self love, immediately it comes with self care. If you love something, you care about it, right? You won't ignore your needs. Tending to your basic needs is an act of love. Be very prompt in responding to your needs. More than anything else, yourself, you come first. Yourself is very important. Try to dedicate at least 45 minutes to 1 hour every day for your focusing on your mind, body, probably to improve yourself. It's your self time, your me time. Ensure your mind and body gets enough rest. Rest in physical rest, mental rest, and spiritual rest. You need to, maybe you can have a digital detox time where you will be out of the screens. You just focus on connecting yourself with nature, taking a walk. Make sure that you come out of all this for some time, and ensure that your mind, body, soul, everything gets enough rest. Focus on your growth, and when you love yourself, you want to see yourself growing. So if you know that you are growing, you know that you are being loved properly by your own self. More than others loving you, first your self love matters. And then learn to be kind and compassionate towards yourself. Always treat yourself with a lot of compassion. Protect yourself and prioritize yourself, and follow self care. That comes immediately along with love comes care, right? So remember that. Practice gratitude. Personally, I do, as I already shared, this has helped me a lot. Being thankful for whatever you have in your life. It's like counting your blessings. And whenever you're thankful, whenever you practice gratitude, you know that you've got so much and you're happy for it. And you will be achieving so much when you're being grateful for what you have. If you can't be thankful for what you have now, you can't prepare yourself for what you're going to get. So don't confuse self love with being selfish or self centered. Remember, yourself comes first. Only when you love yourself the most, the best, you will love others the best. That's what I feel. People who love themselves, who are true to themselves, who love themselves, will definitely take that love to others. Because when you can love yourself, take care of yourself, obviously that will be transformed. That will be a habit that will be extended to others as well. Because when you value yourself, you'll be able to value the other human being in your life. So self love, without any doubt, helps in creating better relationship. It transforms you into a better person. Five love languages, all of us know this, right? Usually this is very much spoken in terms of couple relationship. But let us see whether we are following all these five love languages for our own self. Acts of service. Do we serve ourselves? Do we tend to our needs? Physically, do we take care of ourselves properly? Words of appreciation. Are we appreciating ourselves? Are we valuing ourselves? Are we happy to be our own selves? Giving gifts. This might be surprising your own self. Probably, as I told you, we are all in a routine. Suddenly, you want to just change your mind and, okay, let's go and eat outside, change try something new, try a new dish or something. That's like giving a small treat to you, or trying to buy something nice for you, making which will make you feel good. So that is giving yourself a gift. Physical touch, maybe a pat on your shoulder to encourage you, or just touch your heart or touch your hand, or make yourself feel comfortable in the body that you are dwelling in. And then quality time, the 45 minutes or the 1 hour that you really want to have with your own self, where you don't want others to be in. It's just you and yourself alone, with a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to work on your self growth. So these are the here it says 10 signs that you are being toxic to yourself. But I would say that there can be many signs, but you just have to think and see where you're trying to be really hard with yourself. How can you just find, or for example, you pay too much attention to what others think about you. You're highly critical, so you're always thinking what others will think about me. So this is something which is not good for a person who would want to love his or herself. It's being toxic, hard to yourself. And you should know when to set boundaries and communicate it at the right time. And you can't take too much responsibility for the well-being of others. See, for example, you, people are always worried about the others in their life. Sometimes they just forget themselves, they forget to take care of themselves. Remember, you might be, for example, sometimes I've seen in my mother's life, she used to be so worried about her children. It's only us, for her it's like that. She never used to take care of herself, which I used to feel very bad. Because like, I used to tell her, if you want to take care of your children first, you take care of yourself. Only if you're strong physically, mentally, will you be able to take care of the family. So it's very important for us caregivers, you need to give that care to your own self before you extend that care and love to others. And you shouldn't be settling for the less in love, relationships, or work, money. You don't value yourself less. You always believe that you are made for a greater purpose, you deserve better, and you work towards it. You don't trust yourself and your instincts. Anytime when you feel difficult to trust yourself because you don't love yourself properly, these are the signs of being toxic to your own self. You constantly try to justify or prove yourself to others, which is not at all needed. A lot of comparison with others will also make you to hurt yourself, hate yourself a lot. You don't stand up for your needs. You let others walk over you. You don't have a voice. You don't feel that yourself is important or your voice is important, and you completely avoid self care. That is a sign of being toxic to yourself. You don't feel free to express your thoughts or ideas, and you allow people to pull you down easily. So these are the things that would tell you that you don't value yourself. You lack self love, self respect, self esteem, self motivation, confidence, all interconnected, right? So think where you, even me, I would say, as I was preparing for this presentation, I was reflecting on many things, and I was wondering, there are a few more things that I have to work on. It's a journey. Self love is a journey. I keep learning. All of us will keep learning new ways to love ourselves. So that's what I believe in. And self love is directly connected to our emotional intelligence. If you want to improve our emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, self love is really important. Being self aware, being recognizing the emotions and acknowledging them at the right time, reacting, pausing before reacting. You don't jump to a conclusion, you always reflect. You wait to understand the situation, showing empathy. So you make an effort to understand others' feelings. Before you show empathy, you should be empathetic to your own self, right? If you love yourself a lot, if you're a person who values yourself, you definitely extend that value, extend that empathy to others. And you should know how to manage stress and anxiety. That's a significant part of loving yourself and being emotionally intelligent. Motivating yourself, keeping yourself going strong even when things are not happening the way you expect, and building healthy relationships. So any person who has a good relationship with his or her own self will end up building healthy relationship with others. So that is without doubt these seven things that it's being shown here. You see, it's all connected with self love. So having said this, I would like to kind of come to this conclusion or end of my session. Before that, here are a few things to reflect, remember, recall. So in this journey of life, remember yourself is the constant companion. You're going to travel with yourself. And so take care of your companion in this life story. Yourself is the hero. So you should be taking care of yourself. So I've played with the word beautiful here. So be you full. So I've taken those three words. I played around with the spelling and of the word. So be full of yourself and accept yourself. Be glad, be happy to be you, be grateful for who you are, and go ahead in this journey valuing yourself. So if you think that you're searching for that one person who will change your life, who will motivate you, and everything will happen like a magical moment in your life, it's taking a look in the mirror, seeing that person, which is your own self, because you're going to travel with yourself. So value yourself. Once you do that, once you start embracing yourself, you will start becoming empowered in the journey of life. People who love themselves, are aware of themselves, who take care of themselves, are the ones who stay empowered. And you, once you're done that, I feel that people who master this art of self love will encourage others to do so. This love will extend to the relationships that you have. It will make you a strong person, and you will go around encouraging others to love themselves. Once you love yourself, you will start admiring the life that you've been given. And in the journey of life, you will start admiring the little moments, being grateful, and you will be inspiring force to many people. You will be someone who will be influencing, inspiring, motivating people around. Having said this, I'd like to conclude my presentation, and I'll open the floor if there's any questions.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to express my hearty vote of thanks to our excellent speaker, Ma'am Dr. Chafrin.
Thank you, Nandu.
And today we got the opportunity to listen to an interesting and such a thought provoking discussion on staying empowered through the journey of life. So, she skillfully imparted her knowledge, leaving us with an insightful conclusion and a motivational concept. Her interesting presentation just captured our attention and motivated us to learn more. So, we appreciate the effort she put into preparing the enlightening session.